What's going on, guys? Captain Rick, and we're sitting here in the Smokercraft. We're going to talk about the electronics package in this boat. So, when we rigged the Smokercraft, we rigged it with a pair of Helix 9s. And then, sometime in December, Humminbird released the new Explorers. So, we ordered a couple of the Explorers to replace those Helixes. This is Humminbird's new unit. They're very similar to the Solixes we run on the bigger boat. Touchscreen and buttons. Again, these are two 10-inch screens. We've got our, let's see if we can swing around here. We've got a remote for our Minn Kota Tarova, and then down here we added, let's see if I can get a better shot of it. Down there we've got our Fish Hawk. We've got our Fish Hawk data on our downriggers, so it's not doesn't necessarily have to be up and visible at the helm, because we have that data back on our downriggers with the One Boat Network. One of the things I did change out was the Humminbird transducer. So on the Helixes we had the dual spectrum chirp high-speed transducer with a Y cable to the side imaging transducer. On this unit, I wanted to try a fairly new transducer from Airmar. It's the TM165 high wide. So it's a 600 watt high wide chirp transducer, but it's got a 30-degree cone. This boat kind of suits two purposes. So I use it a lot for brown trout in the winter months and early spring. And then we do walleye fishing on Oneida Lake in the fall. I wanted that chirp so I could pick those walleyes off the bottom when I'm cruising around. But this was the first few days that I've used it salmon fishing, and very impressed. So this morning we blasted halfway across the lake to catch our limited cohos real quick, and at 35 miles an hour, marking bait on this screen as we're flying out there in the middle of the lake. Very happy with that. Maybe I wish the cone was a little bit wider, but it picks up our downriggers decently. It marks fish really nice, and I love how the chirp separates the fish in a school. So we went over a few schools of salmon, and I think with traditional sonar it might have looked more of like a bait pod, but with the chirp sonar you saw those individual fish. So that was pretty cool. So okay, we've got the Humminbirds, we've got our Fish Hawk, and then we also installed a smart troll so we can monitor our divers, for the most part, monitor our divers, where they are and the temperatures they're fishing at. So I'll head out to the back of the boat. We'll kind of look at those transducers, but that is our, I will flip the phone around, but that is our setup right here on the Smokercraft Phantom. All right, so here we are in the back of the boat. Sorry, I'm unpacking from our tournament. So we've got our Humminbird side imaging transducer right there. There is that Airmar TM165 high wide, and then we've got our Fish Hawk transducer right there. When I ran the transducer, they didn't have the double wide out yet, and to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of working on boats, so the fact that it's on there, it's going to stay on there until something happens. Right there, we've got our Smart Troll transducer. Did experience some interference with the kicker when it was running at higher RPMs this weekend, so we trolled on the main engine a little bit so that we can monitor our divers. I'm probably going to try and move that over here and see if it makes a difference. I don't know. I also might try to put some sort of filter on the kicker to try and alleviate some of that noise that it's putting out in the water. So if anybody's got any ideas, drop those in the comments. But this is the new electronic setup on the Smokercraft. It is salmon approved. We took second place yesterday in the pre-fish tournament, so it's all good. Any questions on the new Humminbird Explorers, guys, give me a holler. Oh, I almost forgot. So we installed the Humminbird Mega Live 2 transducer on this Brew City pole mount. We played around with it a little bit this week, this weekend. At salmon speeds, landscape mode, I was picking up a lot of the prop wash in landscape mode. It worked really good in forward mode, even though I was facing it backwards. I've got a shot while we were coho fishing where I can see the downrigger ball with the coho flasher, and I can see both divers with their coho flashers behind them. That was really cool. Getting decent readings, marking fish, marking cannibals down to about 75, 80 foot, and then it kind of fades out. I don't know if it's because I've got to angle the transducer, but that's the nice thing about the pole mount, is I can move the transducer around a little bit. Also played around with down mode. Not bad either. Not getting a lot of the halo rings we were getting with the Mega Live 1. So liking that. Looking forward to playing with it a little bit. The salmon bite isn't great this year. I wish I had this boat and I had it rigged down here last year. There's a chance I could probably do some jigging or casting for salmon, which would be really cool. And I think that's where that'll shine, is when we do get on the walleye and we're casting at walleyes. That's going to be really helpful. So that's the electronics setup on the Smoker, guys. Thanks for watching. Again, like and subscribe. We really appreciate all the comments and people coming up to us and telling us how they enjoy the videos. So have a good one, guys. Thanks. So we got our downrigger ball. There goes the fish we just threw back. That is the flasher behind the downrigger ball. These are our two divers and our two flashers.
I have this back.